Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo and you're watching another live Q&A with you and me. I do one of these every weekday. Thank you for supporting the endeavor. Someone inevitably asked me at some point in the not too distant past, what do you think of the new Fantastic Four trailer, the movie that's going to be released soon? What do you think about the idea of rebooting a franchise? Because you might remember we've seen Fantastic Four movies in recent years, and I thought those movies were fine, a bit campy, which I don't really mind. As far as superhero movies are concerned, or movies based on comic books, or adapted really from comic books and characters within comic books, sometimes I really don't mind reboots. It's never really been an issue for me. I always walk into it with a clear mind, thinking, okay, I'm just going to experience this in an alternate universe. So it's never really bothered me anytime a comic book franchise specifically has been rebooted. Then again, what some would consider really horrible movies based on comic books, I thought were just fine. But then again, I don't mind campy. Now, I would say the first Fantastic Four series of movies were a bit on the campy side. The newer one that will be unleashed to the world at some point in the future seemed a bit more dark, which again, I don't mind. I could go either way, certainly with the Fantastic Four. I could be, but not in this known universe. I wish I was Mr. Fantastic, because then I would have been able to do this at the same time as starting the video instead of being over here and doing this at the same time. If I was Mr. Fantastic, I could pull it off. Or Invisible Woman. I'd set something on fire, but I'm not Human Torch. I'm a human being, not the Thing. But the Thing is a human being. But not necessarily when he's the Thing. So I'm very much looking forward to a reboot, but specifically through those types of eyes, ones that don't really mind reboots of comic book movies. It seemed to be mysterious, dark. I was intrigued. Certainly I have some amount of backstory with the characters, and there's only so much a trailer can do, and there's so much that fans bring to the trailer. I think the way that I would suggest or recommend people see this trailer is really kind of in the same way that I've tried to view these types of movies, especially with reboots. Don't hold these new movies, this reboot, to the standards that you held the other movies to, specifically in the Fantastic Four series or the universe. You can't even hold it to the standard that you might have accepted with comic books. That's one medium. In this other medium, it's going to take on a completely different life, and you kind of have to let go at some point. You have to accept it as a potential part of canon, or just as a part of the universe or an alternate universe, in what you may have experienced when you were younger, or maybe you didn't get into Fantastic Four until you were older. I would not consider myself a Fantastic Four fan. I certainly have appreciated what I have experienced with the Fantastic Four, but I think that it is going to take a completely different approach to that particular set of characters, the story, even Doom coming in, and of course he's a bad guy, right? If you can call him a bad guy. Can we get past that word or that phraseology, bad guy? Because, what if Doom, if they imagine him as being a female? Could a female be a bad guy? I don't mind. I really don't. I'm looking forward to it, as I say, for just about any type of movie based on a comic book, even a comic book that I never read. I hope to be happily surprised, much like I was with Guardians of the Galaxy, which was pretty campy. I wouldn't expect this Fantastic Four movie, if not series of movies, to be like Guardians at all. It seems to be dark. Very, very dark, and that may be what you want out of a superhero movie, specifically with the Fantastic Four. So I am looking forward to seeing it at some point in the future when they release it. My thoughts are that it looks good. I didn't see anything that made me feel like I didn't want to see the movie. Rarely could a trailer ever dissuade me from seeing something, but they didn't really give much away from of the movie or what really is going to happen in the trailer, or any series of information that I might have picked up for the Fantastic Four reboot. Am I the only one who may be interested in this movie out there in the community? Maybe you, as a diehard, long-term lifelong fan of the franchise may have different feelings, and I would certainly be interested in hearing what you have to say if you do consider yourself a Fantastic Four fan. But as someone who's not necessarily considered a fan, it looks good to me. Thank you for asking the question. Of course, I take all kinds of questions all the time about anything that might be geeky and some things not so geeky, and I cover those things sometimes in the daily vlogs. But thank you for your support and for continuing to value the advice or my perspectives or opinions that you choose to listen to today or any day of the week. At this point, however, I'm going to leave you to your own devices.